Yo, yo, yo. What's the dealio, y'all? What is the dealio, man? It's Sunday. It's Sunday, y'all. We got a Sunday watch list. We about to get it popping. If you guys are tuning in, be sure to let me know where y'all tuning in from. All right. Be sure to like this video as well. All right. And we going to get it started, man. we going to get it started. How everybody doing today? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? What is up, my M? Deborah, how you feeling? All is well. Pam, what's up, Pam? Chaos, what's up? Scorpion Queen, how you feeling? Shiley, what up, what up? It's time. It is time. It's Sunday. What else we got? Alchemist, what up? What up, y'all? QTZ in the building. Hey, man, we had a phenomenal week last week, right? We had a phenomenal week, and so this coming up week is going to be no different. All right, it's going to be no different. What's up, Angel? Your agent, Angel. How you feeling? What up, Ross? I'm cool. I'm ready. Best Beezy. What up? Burpee Boot Camp. It's a new name right there, man. Welcome. What up, James? What up, though? Shout out to the D, man. Shout out to Detroit. All right. If you guys are just now tuning in, man, be sure to like this video. All right. Let's get this video, by the time we get off this live, let's get this video to 100 likes, 150 likes. All right. And we're going to talk about the watch list. We're going to talk about the market. And we're going to find some setups for this week. Well, I got some setups. I'm going to share my setups with y'all. Right. So, yeah. What's up, Doc? How you feeling? Davita, what's up? Dr. V, what up? Jerry, what up? Henry. Benson Production, what up? How you feeling? What up, Reggie? Yeah. All right, so listen, y'all. We're going to get it popping. What's up, Jackie? Arletha, how y'all doing? Hey, let me ask y'all a question. If you got sponsored for your first month in the Discord over the past couple weeks, how would you say your experience has been? Go put that in the comments. If you got sponsored for a first month of the Discord, how has your experience been? Put that in the comments. I'm curious. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Key? How you doing? Kent, what up? Shout out to Flint, P. Bryant, Houston in the building. Shout out to Houston. All right, download. You looking for help wanting levels but ain't subscribed? I know, right? Real talk. What up, Mark Quinn? What up? So yeah, if you guys, I'm gonna say it one more time, man. If you guys got a free month in the Discord and somebody paid it forward, how has your experience been? All right, I don't know if any of y'all are on here, but I see Arletha is on here. But yeah, so drop that in the comments, right? In the meantime, if you guys want levels and all of that stuff, obviously, all I ask is for you to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right. So what we're gonna do is, Quantel from the 305. Hey, shout out to Miami. All right. Shout out to Florida. All right. So let's get it started, man. All right, let's get it started. So last week was legendary. She said, I got sponsored for 1 month in Discord, and it's been such an educational journey. This community is the GOAT. There we go. Hey, I'm glad to hear that, Arletha. I know you've been quiet, but I know you've been in there studying, so shout out to that, right? It takes a little bit of time to really get everything, understood, and then you could go and implement and execute. So, Andrea, what's up? How you feeling? Still waiting on my blessings. What's up, Houston? I love me some Houston, just not until after Monday Night Football. That's funny. All right, Peerless Beard, what up? How you feeling, bro? All right, y'all. So look, check it out, man. All right, if y'all watching this and you haven't, be sure to like this video. All right. Now, this week, right? Let's start off this week with understanding what we walking into. Okay. What we are walking into is we got this right here. All right. First things first. we have economic data. Okay, so tomorrow we don't have too much of anything. But then we got CPI, right? Consumer Price Index, and then we got CPI year over year at the same time, and then we got core CPI. So it's all CPI on Tuesday morning. Now I'm happy that we have CPI on Tuesday morning because it gets out the way. It's not going to be in the middle of the week, right? So we get that data out the way. And then we got PPI the next day, right? We got retail sales as well. Okay. So those, and then we got initial jobless claims on Thursday. This is a big data point as well. All right. So we have some data this week. So the data is going to be moving the market. So there is going to be some volatility. Okay. There is going to be some volatility involved. So make sure you guys are ready for that. All right. So that's the data that we have. And then we got earnings. It's starting to kick off this week as well. Let's go over the earnings. So come on now. Load for me. Boom. All right. So earnings. This is what we got for earnings so far. We got JP Morgan on Tuesday. On Monday, we don't have too much of anything. And then we got JP Morgan. We got Delta Airlines. And then we got PKE. I don't know who PKE is. But then we got Bank of America. And then we got Citigroup as well. We got Wells Fargo. All right. And then we got Goldman Sachs. We got Taiwan Semiconductors. We don't know if it's going to be after hours or before the market opens. JB Hunt. Who else? And then we got PNC Bank. Right. So that's this week. Right. The first week of earnings season is usually banks. Right. That's how it kicks off because it's the financial aspect of everything. So so that is what we got. And then the week after next week, we're going to have a lot more. Right. Halliburton, Netflix, USB, Procter and Gamble, right? Intel next week as well, SLB, right? So we're gonna have some massive opportunities next week for earnings. Okay, so I definitely just wanted to put that on you guys' radar as well. All right, how long are the live trades each day in the Discord? We trade for about an hour to maybe an hour and a half live. And then throughout the day, we will throw trades in there as well, right? So what I make sure I do is I do something called. So we got just so you understand. So after we get off live trading, throughout the day, this is an IM. They be calling me the IWM Whisperer. So I made a section, and so I put IWM, the chart throughout the day. And whenever I see a good entry, a good setup, I put it in this tab right here. So throughout the whole day, the Discord can trade IWM with me throughout the whole day, right? So I'm just doing IWM all day. Okay. And then other call outs will happen, but IWM is a daily faithful, right? So we can always count on IWM to make us some money. So that's what we do. All right. So we trade live in the morning, and then throughout the day inside of the Discord, we also have call outs throughout the day as well. All right. And entries and stuff like that. So yeah, so I missed a few videos this week, but I made sure to lock in today. There we go. Yeah, Skeet Crane. So it's a 10% credit cap. Yep. I binge watched them Watt videos and can't wait for Monday. Picked up a bunch of great new material. There we go. There we go, Ant. You feeling good about it? Do you feel like that leveled your game up over the weekend? He said, I used to work for Halliburton. They owe me a lot of money. Hey, let's get some money with them next week then. Let's get some money with them next week. What's up, Mr. Clean Entertainment? SoFi till February. What up, Andres? How you feeling? All right. So that's what we got for this week, right? When we're talking about data and when we're talking about earnings. All right. So let's go to the charts, and we're going to talk about SPY, and then we're going to talk about IWM as we go into the week. Okay, so let me pull them up real quick. Let me pull them up. Peerless, I definitely gotta join the Discord because days I gotta work. I might actually be able to get some trades in. Yeah. Come on, bro. Yeah, come on. I mean, every day, man, we gonna be doing it. So yeah, just come join. You know, it's community, it's people. We all get into the money. We all doing our thing. So you can't lose. You can only, even if you making money trading, even if you're doing your thing, you're gonna have some nice, in addition to what you already know and understand, and it's just gonna level your game up. All right. So yeah, those IWM plays throughout the day are bangers. Yep. Because all we doing is we trading on a higher time frame and we just sniping it, right? 0 days and we sniping it. So yeah, you guys can really you could listen. You can make a full time income on IWM alone, right? Like with 0 days of expirations, you can make a full time income with IWM, and you don't have to risk a lot of money. All right. So keep that in mind, y'all. Um, so yeah, he said help unlock my third eye. There we go. Yeah, you getting on a different level. If you feeling that way, and with trading, yeah, you get to a different level, right? And we got balls playing our liquidity grab. Yeah. We got the bots as well. Um, we got the bots inside of the Discord also. So when you go inside, right, we got this whole area right here that we paid a lot of money for, but we got these bots right here. So we got the bullseye, and so it calls out a whole bunch of swing trades all the time, right? It tells you the interest, like the confidence, right? The confidence, and then the ticker and the strike price and the expiration and all of that. It tells you the volume on that actual contract as well. So yeah, and these pop up, a lot every single day, right? And then we got a flow bot that be popping in as well, and so that be kind of letting you know, giving you stuff. And then we got golden sweeps and sweeps as well. So these are sweep orders. So these are all bots. So yeah, man, the Discord is lit, it's popping, and it is designed to help people make more money with ease. All right. So yeah, so that's that, man. So I'm driving. Oh yeah, no, that's all good. So yeah, so let's go to the charts and let's look at SPY and let's look at IWM for the week and let's look at their levels. All right. So she said those fell 2 down and 1 bars, and the 200 EMA bounce is the real deal. Now I have to find a Lux Algo video. I got you. Yep. Yeah. I'm telling you, Arletha, you're gonna be, a savage. Savage. Give it 3 months, 6 months, a year. That's why I tell everybody 100K is the floor. Once you understand this stuff and you really start doing it, right? The key is you got to get to a point where for the first 2 to 3 months, depending on where your account is at, just focus on making $50 to $100 a day, right? That's the first goal, right? $50 to $100 a day, right? And then after about 3 months, your account is going to have tripled or more, right? If it doubles the first month and then it doubles again and then it doubles again, right? Your account is going to be up, and then that $50 to $100 a day, that's going to become $200 to $400, $500 a day. Y'all see what I'm saying? So it's like all you got to do is just like focus for 90 days, and then when you focus for that 90 days, that's when you're going to be able to compound, right? So it's like you got to lock in for 90 days first. Don't make no silly, mistakes. Don't do nothing stupid. You're going to have your losses. You're going to have some days where you lost more than you wanted to, but you bounce back, you get better, and then you just keep it going, right? So, yeah. So, all right. So this is what we're going to do. All right. So we got SPY right here, right? So when we have SPY, SPY and IWM are in very interesting places because we closed at all-time highs, right? So we closed at all-time highs right here. And so this is what I want you guys to pay attention to. This is the daily. Let's look at the weekly real quick. All right. So this is the weekly time frame right here. When I'm looking at the weekly time frame, um, I see like, yeah, we could go up, but we because we're at all time highs, we have no levels, right? We have no levels for the week. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm going to I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna go here, and then we're going to put on pivot points. All right, so we're gonna turn on our pivot points, right? So these are pivot points right here. This is areas where the stock can reject that to the upside. So, all right, so we got this on. Now let's turn them off real quick. Boom. All right, so the weekly range, your range for the week is going to be a $9 range, right? So we got a $9 range right here. All right, so the weekly resistance is going to be 695.32. Weekly resistance is going to be 695.32. And then weekly support is going to be 686.34. All right. So we have a $9 range, literally, right? 686.34 to 695.32. So that's $9, right? Really $8.98, but that's $9. So that is that's the range for the week. So I always say it depends on where we open up at, right? It depends on where we open up at tomorrow. Okay. Now, nothing that I say in this video is financial advice. If you guys want financial advice, be sure to go and talk to a licensed financial advisor. All right. Shout out to Dr. V. What's up, Mikey? So nothing is financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. And this is, educational. And I'm also just sharing with you what I'm seeing on the charts. All right. So I got to make sure I say that. All right. If you guys are tuning in, be sure to like this video and also subscribe to the YouTube channel. Every single day, I'm bringing you life-changing videos that can change your life financially, physically, spiritually, all of that good stuff. All right. So now, right here, right? So we got this $9 range. So I don't know where futures are going to open up at in the morning. It's looking like, we got a higher low right here. So it looks like we're going to go higher, right? We got to create a higher low as well, right? So some areas that we could come down to, right? We're going to test the previous week's high, right? This is the area where we could test that. Because we're at all-time highs, we got to be careful to the upside because we have no retracement opportunities, right? We have to wait for the pullback, and we have no retracement opportunities. So we're going to say, pullback or bounce areas for SPY this week. Pullback. All right, so pullback and bounce areas for this week are going to be right here, 691.75. All right, and then also right here at 689.20. All right, and then on the daily time frame, we got 690.61. All right. 690.61 as well. So these are areas that the SPY can come down to, right? Where it could pull back and bounce. It's at 694.07 right now, right? So that's what I'm going to be looking at. We're also going to say, obviously, if we get above, the all-time highs, entering the calls. So calls above 695.32. All right. All right. So calls above 695.32. Some areas where it could reject that or where you could take profits at. Take profit levels. Some take some take profit levels. I'm gonna use these pivot points right here to see where it can go. So 702, I think that's a little too high. We're gonna say right here. So we have 695.80. And then we have 696.86. All right. And then we have those are the main ones right there. 650. Yeah. Yeah. So these could be your take profit levels if you enter into swings. I mean, into day trades to the upside. All right. So this is the thing. When we get around these all-time highs, we got to be careful to the upside, right? You got to really be ready for a rug pull at any point in time, right? You have to be ready for a rug pull or at least a pullback, right? So I think we may get a pullback potentially tomorrow because we have data coming out on Tuesday. So they know what the data is going to be already, right? We don't know, but they know. So, and then if you look at the watch list right here, there's a lot of green, right? There's a lot of green. The QQQ, big tech, they were up by $6, but 1%. But they bounced right here and they came up, so we could have a continuation there. So when I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, with the SPY, and I'm looking at just how everything is looking and panning out. Yes, we can go up, but we do need to be careful. Okay. We do need to be careful. So we got the weekly range right here. We got some take profit levels. It's not a lot, right? Because we don't know where it's gonna go. But if we get above like 696.50, 696.86, then we could, be going higher, right? But we gotta really be patient and see. Okay. We could hit that 700 and then we reject, right? Because 700 is a psychological level. So we gotta just be patient and pay attention. But I would really wait until we get a pullback to really go long on SPY, because we don't know where it's going. Okay, I'm always gonna be waiting for a retracement, right? I love retracements because it's a lot easier to know where a stock can go once we already came down, right? So I'm not gonna get into SPY puts right now, but what I will do is I'm gonna be paying attention to it to see, when we gonna kind of reject and then start coming down. All right, but please know that if you see a rejection at all-time highs, then we could really, really, really come down. Okay. So let me know if that makes sense on the SPY, right? That's my levels for SPY. If that makes sense, let me know in the comments, because I want to make sure that you guys understand, because when we're trading at all-time highs, don't just get, oh, it's green, we going up, we going up, we going up, because you will get cooked. All right? I promise you, you will get cooked. You really will get cooked. So don't be out here being green and being a goofy and just getting into a trade because you think it's going to keep going up, right? Always remember, the name of the game is to buy low and sell high. If we're at all-time highs and we're at the high of the day, right? You never want to buy into a call at the high of the day when we're at all-time highs on the daily and the weekly time frame, right? That's dumb, right? Like, that's dumb. Okay? So yeah, buy low, like be a hustler, right? If you gotta think about it, right? You gotta understand, like, if you was a hustler, right, and you was out here getting money and you was flipping, if you was flipping product, right? Let's say you was flipping hoodies, let's say you was flipping t-shirts, right? You can't make no profit if you buying your t-shirts at $40 and you selling them at $35, right? You're gonna go in the hole very fast. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta buy the t-shirts at $10 and you gotta sell them for $25. And you gotta get really good at doing that. So it's the same thing with the stock market, okay? Don't buy these contracts. Don't buy these contracts when the stock price is at an all-time high and it's at the high a day, right? Don't do that. Don't do that, okay? I can't stress it enough. Don't do it, right? So you gotta really, really make sure you guys like are being patient. Just because you see green, really the time to enter into a trade is not always when you see green. It's really when you see red, right? And you see like that reversal because you're buying low, right? Like this is real game right here. All right. What's up, Sean? What up, TP? What up, Ash? I honestly don't like trading out. Yeah, me neither. I hate it. I hate it. So that's why I'm going to be chilling off the all-time highs, stocks. Got to pay attention to that market structure at all. Yeah, for sure. All right. He said, I appreciate the game you give. For real, I'm going to try this strat this week. What's crazy is I have a similar strategy without the indicator. There we go. Yeah, give it a try. All right. Anyone who missed the recent video on pullback needs to watch it before market open. Nah, facts. Yeah. Go watch my video that I made on Friday, a couple days ago, 2 videos ago, about, the money is in the pullback. All right. The money is in the pullback. The money is in the pullback. All right. And I also want you guys to understand this concept right here as well, right? So what happens is, so I'll be paying attention to the market. I'll be paying attention to the market, right? Even though I don't really trade SPY, I pay attention to how, the big stocks move with the SPY. And so something that I've learned and I've noticed was that when the SPY is going up, you got your Mag 7, right? What's up, Adam? You got your Mag 7, right? What's your Mag 7? Nvidia, Amazon, Meta, right? All of those stocks, Microsoft, Google. And so, and then what's the other one that I'm looking at? Oh, and Apple, right? And so, think about it. If not every single stock of the Mag 7 are going to be going up when the SPY is going up, okay? Like, really think about this, okay? So when you see SPY going up, you're going to have a couple of the major stocks that's going to be down, or they're not going to be doing anything, right? That's why Amazon is blasting off right now, because you got Nvidia and Apple coming down, okay? Like, really listen to what I'm saying. I know we ain't on the charts, but you got to really understand what's being said right now, okay? We're at all-time highs, but Apple is down from their all-time highs, right? But Amazon is up, and Nvidia is down, and Meta is trying to make a comeback, right? So it's like, when you understand this game and you really understand the game, you can start seeing the SPY coming down, and then the stocks that like, for example, Apple. Apple was on my watch list this week. I think we're going to see Apple shoot up. but the SPY might come down at some point in time this week, right? So it's like what be happening is they can't have all of the big tech stocks going up at the same time as the SPY. So you're gonna have, like, that's why Amazon, this is what these big stocks do. You're gonna have some that's gonna just be like consolidating in the range, going up and down, up. It's gonna put you to sleep. It's gonna put you to sleep. And you're like, man, this stock ain't going up. And then in a week's time frame, a 2-week period, it's gonna go crazy. And then you're gonna have FOMO, and then you're gonna be like, damn, I missed it. And then you're gonna have another stock like Amazon that's gonna be coming down, and you're gonna be like, I ain't gonna pay attention to Amazon. Amazon is a shitty stock, right? But you don't realize that it's just coming down because one of the other stocks in the Mag 7 went up, so it had to balance out, right? And then that stock stays at a certain level for a period of time, and then you go to sleep on that stock, and then that stock runs up, right? And then the other stock that you was in that you thought was gonna keep going higher, it sells off. Like no stocks in the Mag 7 are all up at the same time. And I'm talking about like at all-time highs. Right? No, none of the major stocks, Nvidia, Amazon, Tesla, Apple, they're all, pay attention to what I'm saying. This is gold right here. Right? None of them are at all-time highs at the same time. Right? None of them are at all-time highs at the same time. Because if that's the case, then that's when the market really gonna come down. Because if everything is up here, when a couple of those major big stocks start coming down, the whole market gonna come down. So a couple of the, Mag 7 stocks that are holding the SPY up, the biggest holdings, they have to be down so it could balance out when the other ones are up, right? And that's why Amazon just blasted off, because it was down, but it traded places with Apple. You see what I'm saying? Apple came down, Amazon blasted up. But Amazon was just down and Apple was just up. So they switched. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is real, like, really understand this stuff. Right? Like, really understand this stuff. Look, right? We at all-time highs, right? Look at Amazon. Look at what it was doing. So it was up here at 250, came all the way down, right, to 214. Came up, 238, came right back down, okay? So it started to come down back in November. This is November. We're just getting back to the same price where we was at November. That's 2 months, okay? Now let's go to Apple. We go to Apple, and look what happened. Boom, 288, when? In December, right? And in November, we was up here. So we was coming up. Now what happened? We came from December, now we down here. You see what I'm saying? So Amazon and Apple, they just flip-flopped, right? But then go look at Nvidia, right? Let's go look at Nvidia. The biggest stock, right? Look at Nvidia. In October, they was up here at 212, right? Okay. And then they sold off, right? Came all the way down to 173, came up, created a double bottom, boom, boom, right? So now they rejected, they right here. So they coming down a little bit, right? But what offsets that? Let's look at Google. Where are they at? All-time highs. Y'all see what I'm saying? They're at all-time highs. And SPY is where? All-time highs right now. Okay? So this is what I'm talking about when I'm saying you got to really pay attention to the game, and you got to really understand how this game go, and you got to really pay attention to like what they not telling you, but they showing you right in front of your face. Okay? Like, this is real. So when you see, SPY coming up, but you see, a couple of the Mag 7s down, then okay, if I see Google up and I see Nvidia down, then I'm gonna wait for both of them to show a reversal, and then they're gonna flip flop, right? When I see Amazon and Apple down, but I see Nvidia up, then I know that we about to get a reversal soon, and then Amazon and Apple gonna start coming up. But when they start coming up, one of these other big stocks is gonna start coming down because it gotta balance itself out. You see what I'm saying? This is real, this is really, really, really real. Right? This is really, really, really real. This stuff ain't on YouTube. Right? It's on YouTube now because I put it out here. But you're not going to find this type of breakdown and analysis and information on YouTube if you go search for it. Because what do you even type in to search for this? This is one of them things where if you don't know, you just don't know. And we don't know what we don't know. You see what I'm saying? So when you pay attention to this on this level with this amount of intricacies, you start to understand. So this is why Amazon blasted up. And this is why Nvidia is down. And this is why Google is at all-time highs. Right? And this is why Apple is down. Because it has to balance out. It has to balance out. Right? Like really, 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 really understand what I'm giving you right now. Okay? Really understand what I'm giving you right now. If you understand this stuff, you will never get cooked in the market again, right? So yeah, for sure, self-motivated. Retracement probably will be soon. Yeah, and then when we talking about retracements, before we talk about retracements, if y'all are watching this, be sure to like this video and also drop in the comments where you guys are tapping in from, all right? And subscribe to the YouTube channel because ain't nobody giving this type of game, right? Ain't nobody giving this game. I can guarantee you that. All right. There you go, Henry. Smacked IWM. Adam said, when it comes to market movement from buyers and sellers, is it just stock buyers and sellers or does option contracts affect the movement as well? So it's like the way I look at it is, and when I say the way I look at it, I break down things in my mind for me to understand it so I can get further faster, right? So sometimes I may say the way I look at it, and that may not be the actual definition, but I'm telling you how I look at it for it to make sense to me so I could continue to like progress in my studies. So that's why I say that. So when I say the way I look at it is, you got option contracts and you got stocks, right? They're both different instruments because if nobody is trading option premiums and option contracts, people will still be buying and selling common shares. So it's like two different things, but at the same time, they both work together and they work symbiotically, right? So I think that buying like option contracts moves option contracts, but shares moves the market, if that makes sense. Because before option contracts were around, people were just buying and selling shares, right? And then when option contracts came in, they started doing contracts. And because an option contract is a derivative, right? An option contract is the value of the option contract is derived from the movement of the stock's price. So as I'm talking about it, Option contracts don't move the market, but you can benefit from option contracts at a faster, rapid pace than buying shares. So the shares move the market, but you can benefit from the movement of the market by investing into option contracts because option contracts are a derivative, right? The value of an option contract is derived from the stock's movement and the share price. That's where you get the strike price from, right? That's where you get the strike price from. And that's why one contract gives you the power to control 100 shares of that stock. And that's why if that contract expires in the money, you buy the stocks at the strike price that you got. Or you can execute that contract at any point in time. Okay? So let me know if that makes sense. Option contracts are a derivative, right? They're a derivative and the value of them is derived from the stock's price. Therefore, the stock price movement is what drives the market, and then the option contracts is what you can make money from the stock's movement. Because if you get into some puts and the stock goes up, the stock price is still going up, but your options value goes down. So options don't move the market. The stock price moves the market. And that actual company's value of the stock market is what moves the market. Right? Let me know if that makes sense, y'all. All right? Let me know if that makes sense. Okay? So yeah, like this stuff goes deep, right? I know everybody wants to, what's the play, right? What's the trade? What price do I get in at? But it's like, this is why I say the more you study, the less you worry. Because it's not always about what trade do you get in. It's about understanding what's happening with the market. You see what I'm saying? That's what it's about. Investors hedge their positions with options. Yeah, because think about it, y'all, right? This is what the rich people did. And I know this is a Sunday, watch list video, but this stuff is important, right? What's up, Mr. Colorado? OG, triple OG, you know what I'm saying? But this is what the rich people, wealthy people did. They was buying shares of stock, right? I'm gonna put my laptop down for a second because we got to go in. They was buying shares of stocks back in the day, right? And then they was like, damn, we could only make money when the stock market goes up, right? That's the only time we can make money is when the stock price goes up. So obviously, because the stock market is designed to make money, they said, how can we make money when the stock market goes up and down? And then that is when option contracts, puts and calls was born and birthed. So now, if you buy shares, you will always have shares and there's no expiration date. But then they created option contracts and said, okay, if the stock goes down, you can make money. So like Mr. Colorado said, he said they hedge. So you could have your share. Let's say you got $50,000 in Amazon stock and you buy in at $200. Okay? And then you see that it just lost support and there's something that happened in the economy. And you know that we're about to be on a downtrend for 2 months. Right? Let's just say. And you know Amazon is about to go down to $150. So you're going to hold on to your shares. You're going to get into a put, right? You're going to put money into put contracts, and then you're going to ride the stock down in your option contract down to 150. Now you just made what you potentially would be down on from that 50K in the Amazon shares. Let's say you put, 10K, 20K in the puts, and then you go catch a $40 move. Now you up 1,000%. Now you turn a 10,000 into 100,000, and then you take that 100,000 and you put that 100,000 into the Amazon shares, and now you drop your average cost. And then when Amazon recovers and it goes back to 200, you up 40 racks. You see what I'm saying? So that is how option contracts are used when we're talking about hedging. Now, as time has gone on, people started to learn like, damn, when I learn technical analysis, I can make money doing this in minutes and within a day. And that's when people started doing day trading and scalp trading and stuff like that. But initially, it was created to simply hedge your positions on shares. Do y'all see what I'm saying? This is how this game really goes. This is how the game really goes. Right? Let me know if that makes sense. All right? Let me know if that makes sense. Appreciate that one. He said, if y'all not convinced to join Discord after this, y'all, hey, I know, right? It goes real deep because you own shares and it's a 2008 put. Yeah, exactly. It's like people make single bets versus parlays. Yeah, I don't even sports bet, so I don't honestly even I don't really understand sports betting fully. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I'm not one of them people that's gonna act like I know everything, right? I know what I know. So yeah, I don't be sports betting. So yeah. We gonna talk about Google, Zay. I mean Apple, right? That's on the watch list. So yeah, but yeah. No, I'm not saying buy a put on Amazon. I just gave you guys an example of something, right? Listen, you guys gotta learn. Like if you know how cool, but you gotta learn to understand the things that I'm saying, right? I'm not here to tell you guys what to do. I'm here to help you guys understand what to do. Right? That's the difference. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm here to help you understand what to do and how to do it. Right? Like really, really understand. Right? That's why it's such a high concentration in the top 10. Yeah, because most of the, a bulk of the things, it's just like the 80-20 rule, right? If you were a real estate broker and you have a brokerage and you have a whole bunch of real estate agents in your brokerage, only 20% of your agents are going to be making you 80% of the money. It's the same thing with the market, right? What's up, Dean? Oh, he said, I just jumped in. Oh, okay. I got you. Easier for market makers to push market around with high. Exactly. Right? That's why you see institutional ownership on certain stocks over 90. Exactly. Because they're controlling the game. Right? It's a big game of Monopoly. Right? It's a big game of Monopoly. So, I think that I'm glad you guys asked that question because it's a very important topic to talk about, and it's very important to understand how this game really goes, right? It's way deeper than just buying a call, buying a put. If you understand what I just talked about, you will become a better trader and investor. If you just want to know what stock to get in, you got to understand that's a very elementary way of approaching the stock market, right? That's a very elementary way of approaching the stock market. Oh, do I get in or not? No. This is why I say the more you study, the less you worry. You see what I'm saying? Because I want you to really understand this game. This is a high level game that we play on an everyday basis. Right? Yeah. You guys can literally apply the stuff that I'm saying to any stock, to anything that you're doing. This is not this stock, that stock. I don't rock like that. I always say, I'm not here to make you dependent on me. I'm here to empower you, right? to go be able to do this on your own no matter what. That's what I'm here to do because I operate out of abundance. At all times, I operate out of abundance. That is my whole thing. Okay? Now, I don't trade futures yet. I focus on options. Right? Yeah, I want you to catch your own fish. Right? The best book for charting, it's a book called Charting. And it's by Fred McAllen or Fred Allen. That's a really good one. But shit, I'm about to end up writing a book about the strat because it ain't no book on how to really chart the way that I do. So yeah, yeah. But understanding market structure and stuff like that, like yeah, Fred Allen is lit. All right. So we about to go on the watch list now, but I do think that it was important with what we just talked about. And I really hope that don't go over, people's heads. I know some of y'all is like, oh yeah, I know exactly what to do with this information. And it's other people that it just went right over their head. And I hope that that's not you, okay? I hope you're able to understand what was just given to you and you could really go take that and run with it. All right? Yeah. So, Mr. Clean Entertainment, he said, I appreciate the teaching. I can see you have a true heart for teaching like myself. I just want to say, yeah, exactly. That's all I want. Right? Email some mails. I just got in from church. Just letting you know I killed Friday. There we go. $365 on IWM. Shout out to that. Right? I'm telling y'all, this is when you start to really think on a higher level, the trading part is that's just a formality, right? When you start understanding the market, that's when you start making bigger plays. That's when you start putting $5,000, $10,000 in trades. It's gonna be a day. It's gonna be a day where I'm gonna put 50,000 into a trade. You know what I'm saying? I'm just continuously, working my way up to being able to put bigger amounts in trades as time goes on. So, shout out to that, man, for real. Just keep compounding the account. And don't let the bad days or the red days, get you too much. All right. So, it's powerful. You really get the concept and understand. Exactly. You can't be stopped, right? You can't be stopped. All right. So we just went over SPY. Now we kind of just went on a little detour, but this detour is one of them detours where it was like a beautiful sight, right? What we just talked about, we can stop this live right here and you will be blessed with that information. Right? So now let's go over IWM. Okay? Let's go over IWM. So, all right, so this is on a daily, right? All right, boom. So this looks like, the uptrend is starting to get weaker, right? Because look at this uptrend, right? You don't see a lot of wicks from the upside on this uptrend, right? Now, right here, we got, a pretty nice wick here and here. So tomorrow, we might create a one candle, right? We could potentially create a one candle. If we create a one candle, then that means it's consolidation. Is it going to do that? I don't know. But if we go to the week, this is the range. Now, this range is going to be insane. If we retrace, so I think that we potentially could try to retrace half of this. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but this is insane. This would be insane. He said, I missed it. Did you say you got a book out? Oh, no, I said I need to write a book on how to chart the way that I chart. I need to write. It's like 8 books I need to write for real. But I never wanted to be one of them dudes that be like, yeah, I got 85 books published. I'm a published author and I have 85 books. And it's like, what? Right? Like, that don't even make sense. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure that when I come out with like literature, it's quality and it ain't just me just like putting together something just so I say that we got a book. You know what I mean? So yeah, when I get a book, man, y'all gonna know. All right, y'all gonna know. So yeah. So with that being said, when we look at the weekly, we had a pullback right here, and then we broke out right here. So I do think that on the weekly we have more room to go to the upside. I think that IWM could pump to, over the next 6 months, we could get to 280. Right? It's a $20 move right there. Right? So here's your range for the week. All right? So let's turn this off real quick. All right. Let's turn this off. He said you should definitely chop that video. I know, right? I think I might just make another video, like a whole video on that, because that was, yeah, I wasn't expecting to talk about that, but yeah, that's some it's important. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So weekly range. Let's see. He said, "Don't mean to get off topic, but you kind of look like Bodie Jane." Hey, somebody else said that a couple months ago in a comment. Man, hey, listen. This is the thing about being on YouTube, right? People always telling me who I look like, right? I used to get annoyed at it, but I just embrace it and I laugh now, right? But I just said I be getting told I look like people all the time. So, and that's Bodie James. I heard that one before too. So, yeah, I embrace it, man. All right, so we got the weekly range, right? So we got your weekly resistance. Weekly resistance is going to be 261.64. All right. And then the weekly support is going to be 249.57. Weekly support 249.57. All right. So this is a $12 range right here. Okay. So that's the weekly range right there. All right, that's the weekly range right there. All right, y'all. Hey, look, don't start doing too much. All right. I don't want to hear more people start adding on to it. All right. Let's just stop it right there. All right. Because that's how it be. People be like, oh, you look like this person. And then somebody else be like, oh, yeah. And then somebody else be like, oh, yeah. And then it just start getting out of control. Right? Let's relax. All right? So this the weekly range right here, y'all. All right? This the weekly range. So obviously, we gonna say calls above 261.64. Okay. Calls above 261.64. Okay. Um. So here's what I'm gonna say as well, right? Um. You feel me, Mark Quinn? He said I look like somebody that's changing lives. You feel me? That's what I be trying to get people to focus on, right? That's what I be wanting people to focus on. When people say things, I be like, listen, you focused on the wrong stuff. You focused on how I look, right? All these other things. It's like, listen, focus on how we get into this money in the stock market. That's what I want you to focus on, right? So yeah, your name sounds like an author. Hey, we gonna get there. I'm already an author, like, you know what I'm saying? But I just haven't put the book out, right? So, nah, I don't trade crypto. I just buy it. I don't really, yeah. That's like I don't try to do all of this stuff. I try to keep things simple and I try to go deep on specific things. So options is my jam. I love stock options. So I just focus on that. All right. So we got calls above here. Now here's what I think might happen. Right. I think that we could break above 261.64 and we could come up and then tomorrow we might reject and then come back down to this area of liquidity here. Or we could come up and then we could come right back down and test this 261.64 area and that could be a pullback area, right? But that's only if we continue to go higher, right? If we go lower, I'm gonna say puts below 256.83. Okay, so I'm gonna say calls above that, puts below 256.83. Okay, puts below 256.83. All right. So we got this weekly range right here. If we get above the resistance, entering the calls, you could day trade it, you could scalp trade it. Puts below 256.83. But as you can see, that's a $4 move right there, right? So really, it's a rejection. If we come up and we start to reject, and like we break below here, 258, and then but we got an area of liquidity, so you got to be a little careful right here, because you could get in a put here and then it could bounce and go higher, right? So yeah, it just depends, right? So this move was easy to see because we just came from here, we already tested here, and we came back down, right? But from here to up here, it's not super easy to see, so we gotta be careful. All right. So I'm gonna be trading light this week with IWM. We still gonna get to the money with IWM, but we gotta be careful because we're gonna be in no man's land up here. There's no levels, right? So we gotta be patient and we gotta really we gotta see what happens. All right. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of trading all time highs, but it is what it is. That's where we at. All right. Absolutely, Dean, 100%. So was that a double bottom? Yeah, it was a double bottom. I've been talking about that double bottom for a couple weeks now, right? I told y'all it was going to come down to make a double bottom before it was even a double bottom, right? So we talked about that. So let's go to the setups for the week. All right. So this live definitely took a lot longer, but that's because we talked about what we was talking about. All right. So let me pull up. I'm pulling up the list right here. All right. So all right. So I'm pulling this up right here for y'all. I started to pick up more stuff. I'm glad I'm seeing that. There we go, Zay. Yeah, you keep showing up and it's gonna keep getting clearer and clearer and clearer. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, um, Ohio just came across your page a week ago, and I have learned a lot in 7 days than I had with previous channels. Hey, of course you have, right? Shout out to that, man. Shout out to Forever Free Fitness. I appreciate that. Just so you guys know, um, my style of information and sharing and teaching is rooted in actually helping people, right? And not just trying to get people to come to me, right? I'm a giver and I operate out of abundance. So on an everyday basis, I make videos every single day. And I don't just make generalized videos, right? I actually give you guys real, tangible information that you can apply the next day in the market and you can make money with, right? So I appreciate all of you guys that tune in. I appreciate all of the new subscribers. I appreciate all of that, man, because I really work hard on these videos, on this YouTube channel, and I really, really, really just want to help you guys from an authentic place, all right? I don't have no ill intentions. It ain't no funny business. I'm here to give you actual, real, tangible, practical things that you guys can implement in the stock market and you can make real money, all right? And there's people that's doing it every day, okay? So I appreciate that, Forever Free Fitness, all right? So y'all make sure y'all stay tapped in. Y'all make sure y'all stay subscribed and continue to, come rock with me because this YouTube channel is going to become, one of the biggest, right? One of the biggest. I just understand that, right? It's becoming one of the biggest. And the reason why is because of you guys watching, you guys sharing, right? But also it's because the everyday information that we put out is like no other. And I don't hold back. And that's just what it is, right? So I appreciate y'all, all right? I always want to make sure I express that, man, because I know a lot of creators, they just make videos and that's it, right? Sometimes they get big and they be forgetting stuff, so they forget where they come from or whatever. So it's like, man, I appreciate y'all because we be spending a lot of time together, right? I know we spend a lot of time together, right? So I want to make sure that I make it worth y'all while, okay? And we still locked in either way. Exactly. I appreciate that, Ash, for real. All right. Yeah, it's going to be one of the biggest, Manny, for sure. All right. So first setup that we got right here, we got Shopify. Okay. We got Shopify. So let's go to the charts and let's go look at Shopify. All right. So, all right. So with Shopify, now we do have a bearish 3-bar right here on the daily, but on the weekly, we on a 1-bar, right? We on a 1-bar right here. So let me break down, help you guys understand how a setup happens. Now I also put calls and puts, right? Just to, be careful, right? We could drop below 158.58, 45. If we get below there, you can enter in the puts and you can write it down to 155. But this is a week's candle, so we could come below here and bounce and then go all the way above here, right? And let me show you guys something, right? Let me show you guys something. So when we look at the monthly, y'all. I'm going to just pause for a second. Look at the monthly on Shopify. Right? Last month we had a 1 candle. And this month, we're on a 1 candle so far. So Shopify is starting to squeeze. So a big move is coming. Okay? So if we get above, 173.09 on the monthly, they gonna blast off. That's 173, right? But if you go to the weekly, we got this 1 candle right here, right? And that's at 160, 169, So if we get above 169.69 and we hold that level, then we're going to come up to test 173. And if we get above 173, then we could be coming up to 182 and potentially even like 190. Right? So calls above 169.69, but puts below 158.45 just in case we do break below this one candle right here. All right? So that's Shopify. Okay? Let me know if that makes sense on Shopify, y'all. Let me know if that makes sense on Shopify. I want to make sure that I like to explain my setups and explain my trades because I'm a firm believer that if I share my thinking process, it could help you guys learn easier, right? Because when you understand a person's thought process, you could be able to learn, right? I never learned from somebody telling me what to do. I learned from somebody helping me learn how to think, right? So it's like I'm trying to help you guys learn how to think in this manner where you could find bangers and, you know, beautiful setups. So yeah, and then W a month exactly. So yeah, so I'm looking at the upside to Shopify, and it already did have a pullback. But when you look at it, right, on the daily, we have that 3 bar. So we could come down to 160 potentially tomorrow, but I don't know, right? So if we break below 163, we could come down, right? We could come down, but we could pop right back up, right? Because if you look at Amazon, right? If you look at Amazon, look, they had a 3 bar, but then they gapped up and then they blasted off, right? So, it's a possibility, right? It is a possibility. So just because it's a 3 bar, a bearish 3 bar doesn't mean it's going to come down, okay? Look at the last bearish 3 bar. Bearish 3 bar, gapped up, and then it blasted off, right? So we going to see what happens. So I'm looking at this on the weekly time frame. I'm not looking at this on a daily. I'm looking at this on a weekly time frame, right? So that's what I'm basing this analysis off of, is on a weekly. All right. So yeah, so that's Shopify. That's my first setup. All right, the Shopify premium is probably going to be sky high. I mean, let's look real quick. If we look at Shopify, I mean, look, right? Shopify, I mean, what, 300? I would be getting somewhere around here, 167, 170. If we break 169, and if I was to enter before 169, then I would be paying like $200. So that's not sky high. To me, sky high is like Spotify, right? Spotify contracts at the money be 1,100. To me, that's sky high for contracts. But 200-300, I don't think that's too crazy. That's about right for Shopify. Their contracts are usually around there, and it's on a Monday as well, right? On Wednesday, the contract's gonna get a little bit cheaper as well. So I don't know when that move is gonna be made, right? I put Oracle on my watch list last week, and the move got made on Friday, right? For 0 day to expiration. So you never know when the move is gonna get made. That's why you got to set your alerts and kind of like let it do what it do. All right. So the next setup that we got for this week, I really like this setup right here. Like, I really like this setup right here, and I've been talking about it and mentioning it a little bit. But we got lift Okay? But we got lift to the downside. Right? We got lift to the downside. So let's look at lift, y'all. Okay. Um, um, so we got lift to the downside. Let me break this down for you guys. All right. Yeah, that's reasonable, Sean. Yeah, that ain't too crazy. Jameer. Oh, Jamie, what's up, Jamie? Said just subscribed to the Prosperity Collective yesterday, and even though I haven't did a play, it's been eye opener. Hey, that's what's up. What was eye opening for you, Jamie? Like, did you take the course and it was something inside the course, or what was eye opening to you? What up, Tanviris? Tanvirsi. Yeah. Tanvirsi, right? What up? So here's this lift trade, right? So with lift, we have a bear flag, okay? So we have on a daily and a weekly, right? Look at this bear flag right here. Okay. We got a bear flag, right? Straight bear flag. So let's do the measured move real quick. Okay. We're going to Tanvir. Okay. Tanvir. I got you. So we got this measured move right here. All right. So if we break below 1897, then we could potentially, right? Potentially be coming down to $14, right? Now we got an order block right here at 15, right? 1580. But if we go off the measured move, then they could be coming down, right? But on the weekly, we got a bearish 3-bar. Okay, so if you guys know the strat, then you know the bearish 3-bar is the one, right? That's a very solid setup. It's a bearish engulfing as well, so it's looking like it's coming down. All right, how do I join the Discord? Click the link in this description, right? And every video I make, y'all, I have the link to the Discord, right? So click the link in the description that says Prosperity Collective, and you could join a Discord. It's the last Discord you're ever gonna have to join, right? You're gonna be able to change your life. You're gonna get results. All right. So Tanvir said, I joined the Prosperity Collective last Thursday, and already ahead after it paid my membership on the very first day. You see what I'm saying? Day one, he made over $150, right? Like, this is real results, right? This ain't me coming on and saying, hey, y'all, look how much I made, and everybody in the community is struggling. This ain't that, right? I only share the results of the people because this ain't about me, right? This is not about me. This is about helping you guys get to where you want to get to, right? That's what this is about, okay? If you guys are tuning in, be sure to like this video, all right? Subscribe to the YouTube channel as well, okay? Because we doing this every day. We got 98 likes, right? Let's get this video to 100 likes, all right? He said if Lyft pulls back to 14, I'm buying 10. I'm buying 50, right? If Lyft go to 114, yo, I'm gonna load the boat on Lyft, right? Because if it just retraces from 14 to 18, right, that'll be a crazy move, right? So yeah, with Lyft, I might swing puts. We got this bear flag on a weekly and a daily right here. So, but we do got this little area of liquidity right here, right? This is a little area of support, right? If you look right here, this is where they've been bouncing at, right? So like 1860-ish. So based on the strat, if we get below 1897, it's coming lower, but also if we get below 1860, it's really gonna come. It's gonna come down crazy, right? And as you can see on the daily, look at the daily, right? It tried to come up and it rejected at this area of liquidity right here, and then it started to come down. And then we got an area of liquidity here. So what we might do is we might see lift come back up one more time to 1959 to test. And if lift rejects at 1959, it's going to start coming down, and it should break through this area right here, and then it should start coming down. Okay? And what I like about lift is you can get, some really cheap contracts. So if you go to lift, look at their contracts, right? You could go out a month and look, they're only $100, right? $100. So, weeklies are like dirt cheap, right? $40. So this is a very low risk, high reward kind of stock to trade with. So I like this setup. I like this lift setup a lot. All right, a very clean bear flag right here is very defined. It's been consolidating for a month, right? It's been consolidating for a month inside of this range. So we definitely, I think, could be coming down because we have not broken above the bull flag consolidation area. All right. So yeah, that's lift. That's the one. That's the one right there. I like that one as well. She said, "I love that. You make sure we." Yeah, absolutely. I can't be doing this if y'all not eating. You know what I'm saying? I would be a fraud, right? I would be a fraud. Need lift to get over 2060. Yeah, it definitely could. It looks similar to what it did in October. In October, let's see. It do, but it don't because it do, but it don't because this downward move is like kind of curved right here. So I wouldn't even like look at that as a bear flag in October. That just looked like a downtrend, and then it kind of like came up a little bit. But this looked like a hockey stick right here, right? Like this range is a little less defined, right? And the bottom, like the support, it didn't like come down and test it so many times. But this one looked real defined to me, right? And we're basically at the bottom of it. So, and we just rejected at the top of it as well. So it looked like a hockey stick. So if we come down, we coming down. All right. If we break below this support, it's gonna sink fast. All right. So yeah. So that's lift. So we got Shopify on the 1 bar, and then we got lift. The learn how to trade section. Oh, okay. Yeah, go to Jamie, go to the go inside your WAP account and go inside the course, right? That's really gonna open your eyes up. All right. RIP to Lift. They were my late pick up last year, and they couldn't hold that 2021. Oh man, you got in late. You got in late. You know what I'm saying? They had a run up to 25, right? But we're gonna see what's up with them. So my last setup for the week. Let me pull it up. Last setup for the week. Right now. All right. This is probably my favorite setup right here. This setup right here, I think that it's gonna go crazy. All right. And this goes back to what we was talking about earlier. So we got Apple, right? We got Apple. So I put this inside the Discord. So let me break this down for y'all. Let's go look at Apple. All right. So this is the daily, right? Now look at the daily. We got a failed 2 down, and then we got a higher low, higher high right here, right? We filled this gap right here. Now, look at this retracement, okay? So we came down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, right? 6 days straight, right? And we finally kind of bounced. Why did we bounce? Because we came to this area of liquidity right here, right? But also, if you look at the weekly, we got an area of liquidity right here as well, okay? So I'm looking for Apple to come up to at least 265, right? At least 265 and even, beyond. So I'm going to get the 265 calls on Apple this week. Most likely tomorrow. I hope we have a red day and then we recover. If so, I'm going to get into Apple calls off of this pullback right here and off of this fair value gap area of liquidity bounce. Okay? This play could move fast because whenever a stock bounces off of an area of liquidity, it bounces pretty violent and it goes, in the opposite direction pretty strong and pretty fast. All right? So on a daily time frame, we got that failed 2 down, then it came up here, area of liquidity, right? On the weekly, came down here, buyer stepped in, area of liquidity. So I definitely think that Apple could be getting ready to bounce here and retrace and go crazy, right? And another reason why I think so as well is because when you look at it, this is a bull flag, right? This is a bull flag, right? Now this area is, look at this. So this was the area, this was a level for the breakout of this bull flag, right? This was the area of the breakout for this bull flag. But think about this. It came down here and it bounced off of the same area where it was the breakout. So this could be a retest of this level right here, and then we could bounce and then we could go higher. Okay? So, and if we get below, 255, then we could come lower and we could fill this gap right here, right? But we got to see. But I think that with what I'm seeing, Apple could surprise everybody and they could pop up and then they could go crazy. All right, because they're down. They hit 288 and they came all the way down to 255, right? So let me do some math real quick, right? 255 and 288, that's $33, right? That's $33. So let's do 33 divided by 288. That's down 11%, okay? So Apple is down 11%. So you got to think, right? 11% is correction territory, right? Correction territory. So if we retrace and we pop up 5% with options, that's a 300% plus trade, right? And this is what I mean when I say buy low and sell high. This is exactly what I mean. You don't buy when a stock is just pumping. Like, yeah, you can make money, right? But it's like when you learn how to find areas to get in position, that's where you make your money. What do they say about real estate? You make your money when you buy. You don't make your money when you sell, right? You make your money when you buy. So if I get in these contracts at a cheap price and then they blast off and they go up, by 500% in a day and I'm already in position in the trade, I just made, 5x my money. That's 100 to 500. That's 500 to 2,500. That's 1,000 to 5,000. That's 2,000 to 10,000 off of one trade, right? So, me personally, I like that Apple play. I do understand that it looks like it could come down some more potentially, but we could get that down move tomorrow, right? If we come down tomorrow, I think that CPI is going to have good numbers and it's going to send the stock market to the upside. That's what I think, could happen. All right. So that is this week's watch list. All right. Let me know if y'all have any questions. And let me know if that makes sense for this week, y'all. If that makes sense for this week, let me know. Let me know. All right? Because I really want to see y'all win, man. I really want to see y'all win. And yeah, so like if the market goes up and Apple has been coming down and they're down 11%, I would think it's safe to say that Apple is going to be coming up. You see what I'm saying? So, because the market gotta, it gotta balance itself out. What area is the correction? 10%. If a stock is down by 10% from its recent high, that is correction territory. And then that's where investors usually buy into the stocks at 10% down. So if a stock is down by 10%, 20%, 30%, that's those buying areas, right? 20% would be considered a bear market for that stock, or if it's a SPY, that's the market. So 20% is like a change of the trend of bullish or bearish, right? So all right. Speaking incredible sense into me. Yeah, bro. I'm telling you, man, like this stuff is very powerful. All right. This stuff is very powerful. I went over IWM, Rachel, so just be sure to go watch the replay. I went over IWM. I do it every day. Also inside of the Discord, I have an IWM channel. So throughout the day, I'm sharing entries for IWM as well. All right. And sometimes I may not enter, but I will still post it, right? Because once again, I want to see people win and I want to see people make money. I want this Discord to be the most valuable Discord that there is, right? I want people to be able to come inside of the Discord and just plug into the system and just make money, right? That is what I want. And because that's what I want, that's what I make sure happens. I want you guys, if you gonna come, right? If you gonna come and you gonna rock with us, I really want you guys to be able to prosper. So I make sure that we show up and we do what we do. Right? 362 Music said finally caught a live. Much love. Hey, another Houston. Look, man. Look, we gonna do a Houston meetup. Because Houston is showing it's too many people out there that be rocking with me. Right? How many people are in Houston right now? If you in this live and you in Houston, drop it in the comments. Let me see. Let me see. Like real talk. Let me see. Come on. That's what's up, Rachel. Yeah, come on. We got a whole curriculum. We got everything up in there. So we got you. Intel. I think Intel could, they could pump another $5 potentially. Yeah. They could pump. I had this written down a while ago. Look. right? Price target was 45.49. They had 45.45, right? This was a bull flag they was in right here. So they blasted off and they finally came up, right? So yeah. I think Intel could be coming up. Just look at it above previous week's highs. Obviously, wait for a pullback, but yeah. All right. Paul Dory said H-Town. Yeah, it's a lot of people inside of the Discord that's in Houston. It's always people that aren't even here, that be usually in the Discord. I mean, in the lives, and they in Houston as well. So I'm gonna come to Houston soon, man. See, it's 3-4 people right now. We got 3 people right now in Houston, right? So listen, if you know anybody else in Houston, be sure to share my YouTube channel with them, because I'm gonna come out there and we're gonna do a meetup, or we're gonna do something. All right, we're gonna do something, and it's gonna be soon too. It's gonna be soon too. So yeah, share it with your Houston people. All right, share it with your Houston people if you can. If you know they in the trading and making money and they want to get to this stock market bag, then share my YouTube channel with them, and really anywhere, right? All my Detroit people, right? Man, share it with your people in Detroit, right? All my Atlanta people, share it with your people in Atlanta, right? All my New York people, share it with your people in New York, right? All my Florida people, share it with your people in Florida, right? Because as we grow, I'm gonna start coming to these cities that you guys are in, right? I'm gonna start coming to these cities that you guys are in, but in order to do that, we got to get the numbers up, because we got to make it something, right? So I want to make sure that we could get a decent turnout. So yeah. All right. So yeah, they talking about Houston Street in Detroit. Okay, Marquin. I'm gonna come to Detroit too, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna come to Detroit. All right. He said, I'm joining the Discord this week, and I got you. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, come on, right? Come on, come vibe out with us. All right. Seems like I'm the only one from AZ. I know, right, Stephen? Real talk. But I was just in Phoenix earlier, well, last year now, for a couple months. But I rock with AZ. I rock with Phoenix. It's a real chill place. Ezzy is from Germany. I used to live in Germany, so shout out to Germany, right? Savon, how many days do you get on contracts? If I'm trading an index like IWM, then I'm getting 0 days to expiration. But if I'm trading a stock, then I'm getting the weeklies. She said I'm already in Cali. Hey, shout out to Cali, man. That's where I'm from. So I'm a West Coast dude. You know what I'm saying? Through and through. I'm a West Coast dude. It's all in me. It's all in my blood, right? So shout out to Cali always, right? Shout out to Cali always. Because Cali that's where I'm from. You know what I'm saying? That's home, right? But I done been around the world. I done been all around the world. And it's just so many amazing places, amazing cities that have amazing culture. You know what I mean? So yeah, like, yeah. So shout out to Cali as always. He said Detroit tapping in. Shout out to the D, right? So yeah, I appreciate all of y'all, man, who really be tapping in for real on a consistent basis. And if you are new to the channel, I am gonna say welcome, because this is like nothing you've ever experienced, right? We got people that be sponsoring people from the Discord, sponsoring people, doing giveaways. Like, this is a real community, and that's why this YouTube channel is be popping so much, because number one, I show up every day, but also I be talking to y'all. Y'all be emailing me, right? I be responding to y'all emails, right? Like, we be really engaging. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, this is a actual relationship that we building, right? I'm building a relationship with y'all, right? Whenever y'all reach out, whatever, y'all win, y'all make some money, right? We breaking bread together. We got a relationship that we building here. And so, shout out to all of y'all, man, that be showing up, that be viewing, that be sharing. I don't know what be going on. All I know is I make these videos, and then after that, I got to go live my life. I don't know what be happening. I don't know what conversations be happening, but what I do know is we growing, and I do know that the information that I put out is next level, and it's at a very high level, and it's very polished. You know what I'm saying? So I thank all of y'all for watching, because that's the only way that this channel would be growing is, if y'all watched. So yeah, man, I sincerely appreciate y'all, because YouTube is not an easy platform, right? YouTube is not an easy platform to win on and to thrive on. All right, it's very competitive, and it's not easy. So yeah, so I appreciate y'all, man. So that is the outlook for this week. Like I said, I told you guys about the earnings. Oh yeah, my she asked about JPM more earnings. I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen with JPM earnings, right? When we look at it, I mean, they look like they could keep going up just off the charts. They're at all-time highs, but I don't know what's gonna happen with them, right? So we really just gotta see. Right, we really just got to see what happens with JPM, because I don't really know what's about to happen. All right, so yeah, that's really it. I don't know what's gonna happen with JPM. Even on the charts, I don't see too much. We just sitting at all-time highs. All right, and they had a good week last week, so they popped up like $10. So that was a pretty nice week for JP Morgan. All right. So Jackie said, thanks for all your hard work and sharing your knowledge, Isaiah. Very much appreciate it. Absolutely. I appreciate you, Jackie. All right. So listen, y'all. Be sure to join the Discord if you want to come trade with us. I also said yesterday, I'm gonna stop doing one-on-one soon. So if you guys want to book a one-on-one, be sure to book it ASAP, because pretty soon I'm gonna stop doing those, because I'm getting way too busy with everything that I got going on. So if you guys need to dial in your strategy, or you need to get some specific questions answered, then be sure to click the link in the description, and you could book a one-on-one as well. But yeah, when I stop doing that, I'm gonna just stop. You know what I mean? So if y'all wanted that one-on-one, book that one-on-one. Be sure to, join the Discord. Come trade with us every day. Come join the community. All of that stuff. All right, y'all. Invest in yourself, right? Invest in your knowledge, and you will not be disappointed, because what we're going to do is we're going to keep changing lives over here, and we're going to keep showing up at a high level. All right? That's what our focus on is, showing up at a high level, and not just, showing up and giving some BS. Like, nah, we gonna really make this happen. All right. So listen, y'all. Y'all have a great day, man. Like I always say, make sure you get up out your head. Go get into this world, because your head is a dangerous place to live. All right. And also remember, y'all, the more you study, the less you worry. All right. Let's have a great day in the market. Let's have a great week in the market. All right. Be smart. Stay smooth, y'all. All right. Don't do nothing crazy. Don't jump the gun. None of that stuff. All right. We got another H-Town in the building. I'm coming to H-Town, y'all. All right. Y'all got my word. I'm coming soon, and we're gonna do a link up or something. All right. We're gonna do a link up or something. So just keep all my Houston folks, just keep tapping in. I'm gonna pull up on y'all, and we're gonna link up. All right. So yeah, subscribe, y'all. I appreciate y'all. Keep tapping in, and go rewatch this replay if you need to, because there was a lot of gems that was dropped. All right. So y'all have a great day, great weekend. All of y'all stay smooth, and I will holler at y'all tomorrow. Peace.